They did such a good job.
Yeah, a lot of people said it.
I love Hairball.
Everyone that I talked to said that they were better than Hairball. I think Hairball puts on a better overall show, like light, sound, and effects.
Right.
But lyrically, the Broadway show was much better.
That's cool.
They just said they wish they could have played a little longer, but they were really having a good time.
They were really good. Everybody I talked to enjoyed them.
Okay, your mics are live. We are recording. Doug Greenway chairing the Corn Policy Events and Entertainment meeting. We did flex from our original agenda to have an executive session to start the meeting to discuss entertainment contracting. So we are going to come out of executive session and start with our agenda items. First of all, 2023 festival report. So I wanted to go through a number of things. I did send out this to the board, most of it, so you would have to kind of have a head start on some of those numbers. First of all, the Midway, and talking about dates and things for festival, the Midway dates is kind of what drives the festival. So we have to look at that. Gold Star Amusement, that 5-year contract we had with them ended this year. They're interested in coming back. This route works for them to come from the Sioux Empire Fair, and then they go over to Owatonna, Minnesota, and they come here and they go to the Central States Fair and the State Fair. Excuse me. From Owatonna, they go Central States Fair, us at the same time, and then they bring all of that together for the State Fair. So that would play into anything we do date-wise. After every festival, once there's some news reports, a lot of feedback about what location, those kinds of things. I'm always willing to answer questions and provide information to anybody in the public. But we've researched that, the location, we have all the data from how things have gone. And this year, our carnival, I have all the numbers, so that's the Midway dollars. This year, total Midway dollars from Gold Star Amusement, this is what they've taken in. So total sales is $150,145. Okay, compared to 2022, that was $148,615. So about almost $2,000 up. If we go backwards a bit, 2021, which was a record tourism year, visitors, $139,000. 2020 was the COVID year. That was way, way down. So that was 13,000, excuse me. 2019, I'm sorry, I'm talking about the whole amount here. Let me go back to 2012 first. And the reason is that's the last time that Gold Star raised their ticket price. So we've been at 2012 prices till this year. And 2012 was 150,000. 2013, 140. 2014, 150. 2016, 155. 2017, 145. And then 2021 again was 139, 22, 148, and this year 150,100. So we're up or average, certainly, where we've been. They're concerned that it's not growing. Some of their other fairs, and the reason is their ticketing prices have changed, and they're encouraging, that's Gold Star sets those, but they are encouraging us to accept their new contract will probably bring the rates up. So right now, the early buy was $49, $55 a day of festival. They want to go $55 early buy, $60 a day of festival. So it's a $6 increase. The wristbands are now $24 a day, would go to $30 a day. So I don't know if they're going to do that, but it would seem to make sense. Obviously, we get a percentage of those total sales. So this year, our total percentage that we got from them is $49,536. Okay, that's our share of Midway sales, which obviously is still up from where we were at. And that's where those amounts I was talking to you about. 2019 was 46,408, and 2021, I guess, was 48,000, which was a record year. So overall, Midway went well. We were pretty happy with that. That includes some of the concession sales and miscellaneous sales as well. Vendors Our vendors were up this year, so we added, if you had a chance to walk Midway, you know that we had more food vendors. I'm really gonna try to increase some soft goods. We have lots of inquiries, but I think our timing is maybe off for them a little bit, or maybe, I just want to try to encourage more of them, but our food vendors were up. So our sales for them were up, depending on who you talk to. The hot weather kept people away on Wednesday, certainly Thursday, but Friday, Saturday, they had great nights. And some of the vendors said, oh gosh, it was a great festival. I haven't followed up with all of them yet, but I will with an email with a thank you, and then I get feedback from them. So I'll have some of that for you for our October meeting. Because I do value their input. And then summer down 40% every year. It's the same story, you know, so you have to take some of that with a grain of salt. So we felt really good about our Plaza Stage entertainment. We had good crowds out there. Friday and Saturday night were really nice crowds. Sunday afternoon was a good crowd. Wednesday, just too hot. And Thursday, we had a really, really good band, but still, you know, it was 100 degrees yet. But we were very, very happy with Guilty Pleasure Orchestra. Probably should have 400 or 500 people out there listening to them. So they were really quite good. Question concert-wise. So concerts, noted, it's like 1,067 we think we had in the building. And then we had some late walk-ins for Friday night and 987 on Saturday night. So we were just over 1,000 in the building after some walk-ins. Just not near enough. As I stated, I'm very disappointed in that number. Anybody that came to the shows, we're very happy with the shows. Anybody that's in the building said, oh my God, they were great. You know, the light and sound was good. They did have a bit of an issue with Michael Ray's music right at the beginning. Something became unplugged when they were switching over between Dylan Marlowe and him. They got that fixed, and then it sounded real good. So, quality of entertainment, I feel real good about. You know, the diversity of entertainment, I don't know. You know, you're seeing that online and what people are commenting. Two, you know, hip hop, rock, comedy. You know, we got to try to find something that will bring people in. As I stated earlier, you have to go back 20 years to sell 2,000 plus tickets. You know, in my time here, our best show by far was with C. Myers at almost 1,500. And that was a holdover from the year before, after COVID. So,
We don't know where we came out on dollars. For
I will have a document I can send that to you. I'll be honest with you, I just got the bills for portable toilets, for example.
Right.
The bath line just came in today.
I meant for concerts.
Yes, for the concerts. We will certainly not cover the Friday night show. We should be fine. It'll be fine for the Saturday night show.
Okay.
But you have to split that light and sound out. Light and sound, right at $17,000 for the two shows. So you got to split that out between the two.
Yeah.
But we were very happy with that contractor out of Sioux Falls. He did a nice job. And then we've got some rentals, which we know, but some of those bills are still coming in. I haven't gotten the bill for the alcohol yet, for example. We know what our percentages are, so that's where we think we're going to be at about just over $15,000 net on the alcohol. So, which helps.
Do you take your labor costs off that too, or are you just doing cost of goods sold?
That's cost of goods sold. Yep.
So there's
Yep.
other.
Yep. And we're pretty, because we've got, you know, we paid the show choir parents, for example, and they did a great job. You know, so I looked at their numbers compared to, but we had 4 shows last year. You know, so they didn't have as much opportunity to sell. But again, alcohol sales per person in the building up from last year. So that's good for the shows. It's just that you just don't have enough people. You know, it's all about the volume. Exhibits, over 200 entries in exhibits. So thank you to the community folks that brought those in. We got to figure out something a little bit different. We had to comp, the prizes, right, were ride passes or concert tickets. Well, the concert tickets, you know, we can justify those, but the ride passes, they ended up charging us $25 per. So when you have a lot of winners. So I'm going to restructure that a little bit to get more of a grand prize, you know, so we can give them something, but we aren't going to give them a value of a $55 ride pass.
I think that's a good idea.
Because there was a lot of winners.
There were a lot of winners.
You know, just because so many different categories. And they only can win once, but still, we're going to change that. I think the point is not necessarily, I mean, they want to get prizes, we'll give them something, but just the very best will get that $55 ride pass or concert ticket. So we'll restructure that. That'll help us a little bit too.
Very well organized this year, though.
Yeah, that's Jessica does a wonderful job, and I'm still sending thank yous and dropping off gift baskets and things like that. So like Sue Kepke, drove for the artists. There was, because we had to pick a band up and get them to and from hotels. She gives up some work time to do that, and so again, and send out notes to those people. It just takes me a little while to get that all done. But know that I do follow up with all of our volunteers and all of you that helped scan tickets and do wristbands and check IDs. I thought the second night again we learned about the party pit. That was very efficient. I thought it was good. Now we have twice as many people. Then we have a little bit of a line, but we'll adjust. We knew we were going to have 1,000 or so people come in, so it worked really well. But those are things we think we do pretty well, just adjusting on the run. Concerts, midway, exhibits, and free stage and vendors. That's kind of our festival. The cleanup was good. We felt I got 0 complaints about garbage. I don't know if you heard that, but we felt midway really looked quite good. Very late at night, we had a couple spots that accumulated. In the mornings, we saw it there. We did our last run about 10 o'clock. So that last 30 minutes to an hour, kind of thing filled up. But overall, we felt very good about that, and our city staff does a great job on that following Monday coming through, and the street sweepers and everything's put away. And by noon, 10:30, the street was open. So I'm always open to suggestions. I really want to enhance. I see what Elizabeth does for First Fridays for the kids' activities. You want to be a little careful because Gold Star has those things, so we kind of have to put it somewhere. But like our pedal pole, we're going to continue that. We had 60 people participate, which we're happy with, but we're going to put it right out in front of Corn Palace. People just didn't see us. You announce it, and we had 6 or 8 of them were tourists from all over the country, had no intention of competing in the state, just wanted to do it, thought it looked fun, and they had a great time. So we will move that, and it'll be a better experience. My goal next year is to have a minimum of 100 people participate, because grandpas and grandmas come to watch, too, and the moms and dads. We did that Saturday afternoons. The timing was good, so I felt good about that, and it'll grow, no doubt about it. But yes, I will have a full accounting. I mean, I'm plugging those numbers in as I get the bills and where everything is at. But and then we'll kind of give you an idea. It's it'll be real close. But we certainly did not cover on the Friday night show. But all told, we're going to be pretty close. Any questions specifically about festival that we can? If you have questions, again, you can always ask privately if you have a question too. Otherwise, we're not much of a break. We jumped right into First Friday last week, which we had the farmers market continue. First Friday was a slow night, no doubt. We did not do a bar. It came down to staffing, and I knew with Labor Day weekend and football, the band was amazing. We supported them. They used our equipment. They sounded great. Were great, really, out of Sioux Falls, but 150 people watching, listening in the plaza, probably maximum 200 any one time. So I think they're going to look at maybe how do you stay away from these holidays? Just too much going on. But I love the kids' activities that they do. Upcoming, we did the state pedal poll yesterday. 2,700 people through the door yesterday, almost 2,800. We had 276 kids poll and 1,000 fans. So that was a good day, and they do that all in about 2.5 hours. From 11, we started at 11, and we were all done at 2:20.
Do we charge entry?
We do, yep. Total, Craig, they just did it today?
Finished it up, and
1,000 adults, 200 kids, so 1,200 paid about? Does that sound about right? Maybe not quite 1,000 adults, 800. It's in the box office. You know what? I can look up the deposit, but it was good. We charged 5 and 3. Yes, like a basketball game. And we had pickleballer volunteers take tickets, and they did a great job. The Nationals coming up in 2 weeks, twice as big. So I've got a couple things to ask about you folks for. But that is the 23rd. We'll have 550 pullers. And they announced yesterday 17 states are planning to be here. And as of right now, almost every hotel in Mitchell is taken for that night, for Friday. So it'll be a sellout for hotels, no doubt about it, on the 23rd. So that's coming up. But this week we have the Raise and Rank Rodeo. If you haven't seen that setup, before you go, they're putting in the plywood and the gating down now. The dirt will come in the morning. And so shows are on Friday and Saturday. Friday's at 7. They want the doors open at 5. But the reality is we need scanners. It's a ticketed show. We expect 1,000 Friday night, maybe 1,200 on Saturday night. We'll be running 2 bars. There'll be a VIP bar up on the stage, a regular bar down on the floor. So we're staffed well there. I am looking for some scanners. I haven't asked for the pickleballers yet since I just used them, but if I'll follow up with an email. And again, 5:30 to 7 on Friday would be nice, and then Saturday's a 6 o'clock show. So 4:30 to 6 would be a good time. It'd be an hour and a half of ticketing is what we kind of need. And then once they're in, we'll sell some tickets yet. People walk in late, but it is 2 hours and a half of nonstop entertainment. It really is a good show. And it's a $15 general admission ticket. So, people that like bull riding. The announcers, high-end, entertainment's very, very good. And it's bull riding, right? So you might go 5 in a row with nobody, and then you'll get one that goes 8 seconds. This place goes crazy. So, second year this guy's done it, and I'm excited for him. He's a little more organized, and we're going to take all the VIPs in the south door. We had all that cluster last year of not having their tickets. He's fixed all of that. So that'll be very helpful to bring them in the side door, give them a true VIP experience. They shouldn't have to wait in line to get in the building. All right. So that's coming up. The following weekend is the NRA banquet and the Central Electric banquet on the 16th and the 19th. At National Pole on the 23rd. And then also the 23rd, the Avera 437 project, which we support. That's an outdoor event. Oh gosh, I skipped right over Wings of Palooza on Thursday. College Palooza. We got College Palooza. I think Wing College Palooza at Mitchell Tech and Dakota Wesleyan students. Since Mitchell Main Street, Chamber, and the colleges support that. We support it with the facility and the plaza. We bring a DJ in. They're bringing in food, and we'll use the same seating as the rodeo. So kind of double that won't give us any extra work there for us. And welcome downtown Mitchell. Chance to promote some of the stuff we've got going on. So we want them to know where downtown Mitchell is. I think I've said this, we had a young man stay with us a couple years ago for the school year. He never had been downtown to the Corn Palace the whole year until he came for graduation. And I'm thinking, and he lived in our house, and I worked here. I'm going, that's just crazy. They don't know about the stuff that goes on here, So that's the goal, is to teach them what's going on downtown Mitchell. That's kind of past and upcoming, and we're moving right into, we got a couple week break, and we actually start basketball games October 28th. So, of course, we've got a couple big banquets. We've got a pheasant banquets, 700 in October. The day after, we have a special event. It's called Chris Breed Foundation, and it's got 2 singers coming in. The one's an American Idol contestant, another one out of Sioux Falls. And they're put on it's a sit-down music show, just trying to take advantage of the out-of-staters in town for something to do. I think it's a great idea. Tickets, they'll be on sale here by the end of the week, I suppose. We'll wait till the rodeo's done. And he thinks they could bring 500 in for that, which would be awesome. So it's a fundraiser for Paralyzed Veterans of America. So, Chris Breed Foundation, he's out of California. He's been fun to work with. He's a high-end promoter, works with a lot of high-end entertainers, and he's coming to Mitchell to do a show.
Are we supposed to meet up with Pepper Entertainment?
So I texted him just in the essence of time. Jared Johnson's his name, and we are, I told him that we are going to have to catch him another time because he is getting on an aircraft right now. He was boarded at 5:15, so I just knew it was going to be too tight. And we have a board meeting coming up for city council, so I will stay with that though, okay? Because I want to hear his information too. In fact, try to do that maybe the next couple of weeks and see if we set up a conference call on how we can do that. So,
I'd like to follow up some discussion of some other things too.
sure. Craig, box office concessions. Craig, I'm glad he's back with us. We did have a scary situation. A couple of our part-timers were in an accident on Sunday coming to work. They're both fine, but it just goes to show we love our kids, and they have done a great job. I mean, you can count on one hand the number of times we've had somebody call in and not cover a shift. I mean, it's just all summer. We're not talking now last week. All summer, they just show up and do the work. So we're very happy with them.
I have to apologize, I have really nothing to report. I just want to thank everybody that's helped out in my absence. I appreciate it. Sat and did a lot of thinking and a lot of stuff that was like, what's going on? And hopefully, everything is going well. And so any input that you have that happened in my absence, if you guys want to give me a call and say, hey, we did this, or we should try this, please let me know, because obviously I have no clue other than what Doug and Amy have told me. So from that aspect, it's always good to have other points of view. The Romeo Entertainment stuff that I handed out, just make sure everybody has classic rock, a comedy, a Christian, and a country list. As it was kind of,
I didn't get the
which one are you
Christian or
missing?
country,
Country?
or Christian.
And there's a contemporary too.
Oh, yeah.
There's 5 of them.
So those, FYI, that is confidential. They ask that we don't share those outside of this group because it has pricing information on there. Craig mentioned Amy, and I don't know if Amy Gephardt's been with us just coming up on a year now as our box office assistant, and she worked full-time during festival and handled all that along with some part-timers, and we thought it went really quite well. I mean,
Yeah, the only thing I'll mention, I don't know why, but the tickets that go to the radio station never print properly and do not scan, ever.
so we,
Every single person we had trouble scanning with, we're like, did you get these from the radio station? Yep. And then you can punch in the numbers, but of course that just slows up the
Slows it
whole
down.
line. And
I think we printed them off of a different printer, and that might have been part of the problem.
Okay.
So that'll be something that I'll pay more attention to when we do it the next
They
time.
were the only ones that we really had trouble with.
once we realized what had happened, so we had one of our part-timers, that was a project she did. I gave Morgan that, and nothing against, she printed them from her desk, and it went to a printer, and it was not set up properly. It was given a fake UPC code. And so it was, and she did them all one day, which was a lot. I mean, you think of all of our sponsor tickets, each, our concert sponsors got 12 each, and went 12, 8, 6,
We
4.
had trouble with those, it was only radio station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was-
I mean, we
yeah.
got them all in fine, it all worked, but like Steve's wouldn't,
Yeah.
he was in a hurry, so that didn't get scanned, like I knew we had one. So
Also,
just-
put a blue sticker on it, keep it moving.
I noticed, so I did go to the concert on Sunday, and Huron, they use e-tickets as well. Their tickets look exactly the same. They use a scanner much like us. They have multiple shoots. I mean, I don't know how many people were there. There's probably 3,000 at that concert on Sunday. But I went there to look for those kinds of things. I went to see how do they set up the bars, how do they do wristbands. They just have so much space. I will say this. There was probably no less than 100 volunteers, and I'm just thinking, where do they, like, when they did the switch over between the acts on the stage, so we hired Mitchell Tech students to do that, and we gave them $1,000 per show. That includes light and sound setup and light and sound teardown, okay? So this year, that was a good value. If we do 4 shows, maybe not as much, but my point is, they switched over, there were kids helping other kids. There's like 20 kids on that stage and going, I wonder who they used, And they had usher vests, which I think we need to get those. So they know they can slip that on, and you're with the show, you have a question. Where's the bathroom? How do I where's the ATM? So they just had literally 100 people there. So they've developed a large group, and I think that's something Craig and I need to develop, this list of just folks that we can call, because sometimes they just want to be asked. But you have a large volume of a call list to say, who can we count on? Because, as you know, we run around and there's I get pulled a lot of directions,
You do.
and everything from bartenders to ticketing issues to the shows to backstage stuff. Because I'd like to honestly watch a little bit of that show, to see, other things I can, and you're out front, putting out little fires and things. But overall, I'm fine. But I did notice large number of volunteers up there.
So last year, their in and out crew was Dakota Wesleyan football team.
Oh, at the state fair?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, this could have been them. I mean, there was a lot of them. And they were all, I didn't see any females, so that could have been them again. So I'm guessing they hired them, just like we do. Just like we
Those guys
do.
are great though, I've had them move furniture for me.
Yeah, yeah, we were very fortunate to have the group we do, and, even our part-timers, so. I'm gonna jump in quickly into decorating. Corn our corns, we're blessed with a good corn crop, so that will be arriving on Monday. So our kids will start cutting and prepping, we'll tear off mural 1. What I wanted to ask you is a couple things quickly. Mike Miller, we said number 1, Oscar Howe number 2. Around the corner where the Tigers are is Bob Barker. Died last Friday, the Friday of festival actually, it's just, yeah. And we're wondering, should we put, his 1943, no, he was 99, so.
Just leave the 99 on the wheel.
Well, that's what,
Did you see
no, I've seen the memes. It didn't make the 100, right? Anyway, we're thinking of doing something different there to recognize his life, that he born and died, or something like that. I don't know if you have any ideas about that. And then we know Loring Goes Wilder. What we didn't really decide is what order our other, and I didn't bring them in with me, what order you would like them to be on the south side. Give me just a second here. I do want to hustle to have the city council people come in. Let me just open these up really quick.
Tim only has to slide one chair, right?
Yeah, I got here, he looked, he's like, oh, sat in the wrong one, sorry.
Oh, that's the, let's go back here. Just, if you have a idea of what order, okay, so this is 1, this is 2 on the front, this is 3, Loring Goes Wilder. So right next to Bob Barker, you have a preference. We've got athlete, governor, statesman, ace pilot, frontiersman, astronaut. A lot of color in this one. There's a lot of color in this one. So I think maybe, and again, remember he.
I gotta tell you, one of my friends asked if this astronaut was gay.
I was thinking it.
Oh, because of that, because of the background?
I was like, oh, we know it.
That's the fuel? Oh.
Me, brother.
Interesting. Well, it won't look quite like that because we're using, if you notice, it's going to be more like this or like this. But
Just sharing that.
anyway, anybody want to
I
take
think
a
we should have an athlete.
number
right
4?
next to- Yeah, in number 4, just
Okay.
to split the athletes up a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that idea. So either Becky Hammond or Billy Mills next to
I
Bob
think
Barker.
Billy Mills would be cool.
Okay, right next to Bob Barker. So we'll make Billy number 4. I'm completely happy with that. I wanted to just again say that opportunity for input. And then we have Becky, we have an outdoorsman maybe between them. So maybe we could do,
Or non-sports next, so either the governor or the,
I would do Wild Bill.
yeah.
Wild Bill at 5. You want to do then Joe Foss or the astronaut at 6?
Joe Foss.
6. Then we'll do, how about, we can do Hammond then at 7 or the astronaut.
You said color wise.
Laura Ingalls will be the last one, so.
I would do astronaut, then coach, different colors.
Yeah.
Color wise.
Yeah.
And number 8 would be Becky Hammond. Hammond, I should say. I am, still reaching out. There's a very good chance we can get Billy Mills here this fall. Mike Miller, we know will be here over Christmas. And then see if we can't maybe get Becky Hammond pass them through, or Charles Guimar coming back for the holidays. We will continue to reach out to those foundations and families and people. I just put it on their Facebook page and, and see what happens.
You really should change that number to 99 now.
Yeah, that is funny.
I mean, you really should.
Okay? I,
That is funny.
I mean, you
Yeah.
have to change that one though, to be true to the Price is Right, you gotta change the other ones. So they're in the right order.
Yeah, like spin the wheel up.
Spin the wheel to
Up, so-
99.
okay, gotcha.
Not just
Yeah.
put the number 99 on.
Or we could do something clever and put 99 and then put 1932 to 2003.
I would leave the wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you just put the wheel to 99.
Okay?
No, that's funny. Sorry.
Well, it's kind of fun to do some clever things like that, All right. Next meeting, sorry, I should have had that on there, would be our October.
Do you want to meet sooner than that to go over your discussions with your two vendors? so
A
that you can-
couple weeks, I expect Gold Star to have us, because that obviously
I meant
plays
your
into
two
this.
contractors
Yes.
for concerts, so you
Sure.
can start moving on next year and not get into the situation that we're in this year, or that we were in.
If
this
we
year.
can line up Pepper somewhere in the next couple of weeks for a portion of a conference call,
Yeah.
and then when we're done with that presentation, we'd have some time to discuss the two options and maybe what we want to do.
And then you could have, another finalize or something on your October meeting.
Okay.
Or if you need more information back from the two.
I'm pretty certain I can
If you
we,
go on monthly timelines, you might end up in January.
and we
also
have to
coming
be,
over.
we have to have a meeting here as a legal meeting, though.
If you're doing a Zoom call, you can, do the Zoom in here just so the public can come in for the open part.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I
Okay.
can help you with that.
Okay, and then we could just join, we wouldn't have to physically come here. If you're out of town or you're traveling, it would really be one item in an executive session
Yep.
to discuss.
And if it's all executive, then it can be done from anywhere, so. that would be fine.
Okay, I think that would be the intent for this meeting, just
For
to,
the.
I really want that information, this just went a lot longer than I thought, and,
I'm glad it came down. That was.
yes, I very much appreciate that. They recognize that they want to do better. So, okay, if there's no other further action,
Is the next one October 3rd?
it would be scheduled October 3rd,
I
correct?
am going to be out of town and will not be able to attend that, sorry.
Knowing that we're going to meet via a call, and we'll find a time that works. If I went a week later, I'd have to, I'd have to check to see if I'm up against any.
I also
Um,
don't think you're October, I don't have
I think
Let me see, I actually can check that.
a
I
line
think.
banquet.
you
Yeah,
should be
mine's
able
full.
to
If
bring
it's,
up the city council chamber.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, that's our key.
We are all gone that week as well.
Well, the week of October 3rd.
Yeah.
so, yeah, well, there's nothing in here on the 10th. Unless there'd be like a library park meeting, but nothing's scheduled. This is
Oh,
just a practice, but yeah, this is great.
yeah.
On the 3rd, we have it booked here, but I think we could go on the 10th. All right? Better? Let me check on that,
The
but,
night, oh yeah, the 10th, yeah.
but we will, yeah, it'd be Tuesday.
Columbus Day is that Monday, but does that affect council or anything?
No, council would be on the 2nd.
Do we have a budget meeting?
No, I just looked on mine, I don't have anything on the 10th.
Okay, I don't either, I'm just making sure.
So if we do, you and I are not going, I guess.
We have 5, yeah, we have 1st and 3rd, we'll have an extra Monday in October again, but yeah, the 10th should be fine.
Okay, but then we'll do a conference call. within
Prior to
the
that,
next
yep,
couple
let me,
weeks.
I'll reach out to him tomorrow and find a time that works, and
Yeah,
give him a
that
little
might
data.
be, that might be good to hear them close in
Yes.
time to each other, so you can
Good
kind
for
of.
people like me.
And you're all able to do a Zoom call, I mean, he probably can do something later, I mean, we don't have to do it at 4 o'clock, I mean, you want to do some after work hours? Do you have access, or do you have to do it at work?
I think
Or-
whatever his schedule, see what he has.
Just let me know.
Okay,
Like 3 or 4 different times, and then we can pick.
all right, I mean, I just didn't know if it's 7 o'clock, we could just get on and do a call, but I don't want to. Okay, I will work on that.
What about the Gold Star?
touched on that briefly. What about times or changing
That,
possibilities?
that,
And
that,
maybe using that price increase as a negotiating tool also, you know, if we decide that we would like to move that.
right. And quite honestly, that's probably the bigger hurdle than any entertainment.
Yeah.
It's really the festival, when they can come. And I
Did you
just,
talk to them about that?
I did, not particularly about changing the date, no. They liked this route because they're
Yeah.
here, they're in the area, right? And I'm guessing that's probably why this, a long time ago, got moved, because of the carnival. But I will absolutely ask the question, you
It'd be
know.
nice to know that before we have that call as well.
I will,
Because maybe do it after the state fair and they're still in the area.
I was looking, and we've got these events that are pretty substantial, like that National Kids Pedal Pole is on a Saturday. And that's huge for Mitchell. It's, I mean, hotel-wise, it's much bigger than the festival, you know. But, and then we've got these two banquets, then you throw in a homecoming parade for the Wesleyan during that September timeframe, and which that changes every year, you know, when they have that. So that gets a little bit tricky. I was looking in the last week in September, or the, you know, I'd be afraid of running into that homecoming parade, because then they have to work around what we're, our festival.
I sat on that homecoming committee, and I think that if they don't pick that until later in the fall, and so I don't think that, like, they don't even know their sports schedule until next spring, and so if we went to them in October, November and said, hey, this is when they would probably just pick a different game for that activity for them.
Because it obviously takes over Main Street, so. I'll start with Gold Star, that's our first stop. They might, because they might have contracts in place, they literally say, for the next 2 years, we can't change anything, and it might take that long, honestly, to make something happen.
And you said the number of rides was the same as last year, so people who were complaining that there's less rides, that's not accurate?
That is not accurate. In fact, actually, they brought more big rides this year than we've had. So, I mean, I thought the layout was wonderful for the rides. I mean, you're always going to have those folks, but as far as the number of rides, yes.
I'm not in the habit of counting.
Our contract is 17 rides, by the way, with them, and that's something we can look at and say, because we actually have the space. We have the space in TMA for more rides. We have you know, we can move vendors down. I really would like to maybe use Fifth Street and put something in front there, but it's got to fit. You know, the carnival doesn't want to bring people. We'll have a little bit of it down there, and then the rest of it up here,
Yeah.
right? And I get that, but I also like people ask, well, why don't you move it down Main Street? I will tell you, we did this survey for the public. 3 things: Mitchell Main Street overwhelmingly responded. Didn't want it in front of their store if they did have the rides and the games face the store. That's not how a Midway works. So that's not an option to turn it. So that was majority, but obviously beverage and restaurants would love to have that down there, and I recognize that. Second part was EMS and safety. They like this smaller footprint and more of a circular fashion. They can respond much quicker to that. Obviously, the free stage and plaza entertainment, it's a great place to have those kinds of things here, and it makes the Corn Palace the central part of the festival, and it is the Corn Palace Festival. So you take all that combined, and there's a lot of upside to keeping it here. We just don't interrupt much commerce. I mean, Graham Goodyear is really the only one that we close their front door, where if we go down the First Street, we close a lot of front doors. And that's the main reason folks aren't in favor of it from commerce standpoint.
Well, for us, on the south end of Maine, depends on the show. We were just nuts busy on Saturday. That show just brought a lot of people before the show.
Right.
Saturday, not so much, that was a younger kid.
Or, yeah, Friday, yeah.
And so on. Or Friday was different. Saturday was just huge.
Well,
Friday after the show was good for us.
And the shows affect our vendors out front without having a Thursday show. And I said, you know, I get it, but that we spent pretty good money on that show out in the plaza on Thursday. That's the one that took the majority of our sponsorship. It was a great show. That should have drawn 400 or 500 people. It took the place of an indoor show. If we can do that and have good weather and promote them. Because we had people from Yankton, Sioux Falls, Brookings, who follow that band, were here. They said, I can't believe you don't have all these people here, because these guys are amazing.
Could we look at moving that concert indoors? And the reason that I say that is because the people I talked to thought it was difficult to try and hit the midway and then also take chairs down to like spring to
Mhm.
sit and do those kinds of things. And then also with the high heat, I mean, the Corn Palace is air conditioned, so.
Sure, and that would take, yes, that's possible. We just have to move our light and sound setup. That was actually going on at that same time. But we can say, hey, you got to set up
Well, and
after hours.
The other issue that's been a conflict is the outdoor concerts we can do. The indoor ones was part of Romeo's contract, so they get a cut of that as well, and it has to be in agreement.
For
with them.
ticketed shows, but we can do
We
free
can do
shows.
free shows.
Free shows inside.
So my thought would be that
Yep.
the Thursday and Sunday, when there's not a ticketed show going on through a contracted venue, have it moved inside, and I think you'd have more entertainment.
From-
And then also you could capture alcohol and beer sales.
I'll mention, a Brandon Jones, we literally were a phone call. If we wouldn't have had Dylan Marlowe, we would have had him here. We know he probably could have brought 400 people himself. Somebody like that, a Judd Hoosh, a Dustin Evans, indoor show, we absolutely can do, and a free show. Yep. So,
That's worth some thought.
yep, absolutely.
Because like you said, we can capture some.
So, while it's fresh, we want
Can't
to
get it anywhere else.
we wanna just-
Yeah.
Yeah.
discuss those things, and while it's fresh, we'll keep moving forward. And of course, here in November, we got to start thinking about a theme already, and have that going in December for our designers. So you'll see murals start going up.
We have a list of ones we've discussed before. Seems like the last time we had maybe a list. of-
Yeah, I'd have to dig out our minutes.
Yeah, I have no idea
Okay.
where that landed.
You can always, as far as the themes
You
themselves,
mean discuss
I
ones
meant
that.
ideas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ideas that we.
Right.
I think we had 4 or 5 of them, and you did pick
Yeah.
a couple we liked
Yep,
the
yep.
best.
That goes back about 3 years, I think. In fact, we kind of thought, and then we pushed one
Because
back.
then we ended up having to push it a year because of the corn
Yep.
crop last year.
Yeah. So you can go, and all of those are.
I know all the past
Yep.
ones are there, and we're going to recycle
Yep.
some of those.
Yep, so, yeah, I will dig into that and see what we can come up. I remember seeing, I typed the list in for the notes, so I'll be able to find something.
Yeah, I went out
in a minute.
All right, we better adjourn before we get, thank you for staying late. I need a call for adjournment. Motion by Gio, seconded by Carol. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Thank you. I will look for your emails. You always do a great job. Get back to me. Appreciate it. I'm just gonna unplug.
I'm gonna turn off the